Welcome to the tomb of illumination. It's where we break down all religious texts and put it in the proper form so we can understand it as I'm here to break it down in common language to show you it's all physics, astrophysics, celestial, spiritual. Nothing, well, not very much of it is in regards to the physical world, because we are living in the physical world. We are living in amnesia. We've forgotten where we've come from. This is why it's all written, so we can find our way back. That's our goal in life, to find our way back. We are light beings from the light, born into this perceived physical world, into darkness. Be it conscious darkness, spiritual darkness, or maybe it is just darkness. I mean, it's dark matter and etc., isn't it? Somehow we see the images. We're in the light of this world, or we think we are, but we have to find our way back. Now, I've got lots to put in this video, like usual. Once I get onto one thing, it's like opening a can of worms. It just goes everywhere. It's just never ending. It's infinity. Everything to do with religion is infinity, because our whole existence is all based on infinity, infinite cycles. It's why we reincarnate. No one actually dies, and then no one actually knows what the word die means. I'm about to show you or explain it to you, because we recycle. So there is no death, really. So before I get into it, we're going to talk about die, death and birth. I just want to read you something regarding the serpent in Genesis. Well, actually it's connected to this. Now, this is Jewish stuff. I don't know. I've never looked into this before, but it just popped up. It's called the Sotah 9b, and this is what it says. This is in regards to the serpent, what the Jews think of the serpent, and so this must be in some sort of religious text. I don't know. And so too we found with regards to the primeval snake who seduced Eve, for he placed his eyes on that which was unfit for him. Now, this unfit for him, his eyes, this is probably something I'll get into later, but it's this deceiving. It's what we do not see. And it's all about the third eye. And if you want to understand the third eye, the mirror effect, why we can't see something, you've got to imagine your two eyes, use your two eyes, and the third eye is in between, right? So the best way to play around with this is you sit in the room and focus on the picture on the wall, and take your finger out in front of you, and your finger's not actually hiding any of the picture on the back wall. And then you focus on the back picture, then bring your focus back to your finger. It takes a bit of practice to know what I'm talking about, but your finger becomes invisible. You can see right through your finger. It's invisible. Well, that's all about understanding the third eye. It's the Trinity. Why things are described as hidden, because it's to do with the two entities. You know, we have two entities in the night sky, the two sky rotations, and it has a gap. And now I've explained so much in the past about that gap. It's the most divine place in all of our existence. All the magic is in that gap. That's what all religion is referring to. And it's very deceiving to us. And on that note, I'd just like to say, I've been putting out in my videos, it's the celestial tropical gap. But it always bothered me, because I knew it seemed too small to be of the celestial tropical gap. Because you know how wide the tropical gap is between Cancer and Capricorn. Well, there's something niggling at me all the time. And then, you know, a couple of years ago, some guy, back when I used to get comments, but thanks to YouTube I don't get any comments anymore. This guy, because now when they come on, they give me something and it's a tip and it's a bit of a puzzle, and it adds to what I know. And this guy said, no, it's not the tropical gap because it's further north, he's saying. And I disregarded, I said something crazy, but at the back of my mind I knew he was sort of right, but I hadn't figured out what I know now. So that gap is not the it's not the tropical gap. It's hard to, shouldn't really say that. It's associated with that, but it's not to do, definitely not to do with the not the solstice. What's the other one? The equinoxes. And I've been saying everything will sit level at the equinoxes. But that's not true. It's back further, and it's all to do with the sun's analemma, the choke point. All the divine stories about that choke point. That's where the 5 holy days are. And so what am I talking about here? So anyway, back to this, the snake. Excuse me. Yeah, not seeing it right. The snake was used. For he placed his eyes on that which was unfit for him. In other words, he's deceived. Man is deceived by this place. And he wanted to marry Eve. Consequently, that which he desired was not given to him. And that which was in his possession was taken from him. Now they could be talking about when we come into the physical world, you see. We're separated. So it could be talking about Eve is separated from Adam, because in our physical, in this world of duality, we go out looking for our physical partner. But that's also associated with Lilith. Lilith is the one before Eve. The curse. I said that the snake will walk upright, but now he shall go on his belly. Yeah, we'll see. Now what he's saying is upright. It says upright on the tropical sides because it drops straight down. And now he's on his belly. So that's basically what they're saying. I said the snake will walk upright. He was, but now he shall go on his belly. I said that his food will be the same as the food eaten by a person. This is the bread. We're given the bread. It's celestial, spiritual. But now he shall eat dust. The snake said, I will kill Adam and marry Eve. But now I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. Once again, he's talking about the gap. There's a separation. Because it's about our dual system, our dual world. Separated the male from the female. And he's talking about the tropical gap. That magnetic field is separated from this magnetic field. It's the stronger field, the weaker field. So you could say it's the male and that's the female. Some other stories, the North Pole is the stronger, smaller, tight field of convergence is the beast, the bigger, powerful entity, and out there is the more dispersed around the south, weaker field is just the cattle, scattered all the way around, right? Makes sense. Okay, so that was that. Anyway, now this is very interesting. Now I just caught a video today where they were talking about, well I could call this video the same thing, did God lie? And they started talking about if you eat from the tree in the centre of the garden you will surely die. I thought that's flipping crazy. They're talking about this word they don't even understand. So you have, anyway, so we're talking about die. Now what happens, the serpent, what did the serpent say after God said to the, or Eve, about eating that fruit, you will surely die? And the serpent comes back and says, no, you won't die, your eyes will be opened. Well, there's a hint there. Look. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . That's what die means. You di. This is the male circumcision. It's the one-off event. It's his shedding blood, just like a female virgin on her first time. Man goes through this, but it's a spiritual, and it's from up in the brain. The blood's released and mixes with the oil. Okay, that's the elixir, creates something like an adrenaline rush, and it comes like a thief in the night. You don't know it's going to happen, and because of the adrenaline rush, he stands up. And in the Bible it says, "Woe to he who stands up and walks," because this elixir, ambrosia, whatever you want to call it, then flows through his system. He has to stand up to let it flow through. And this is why you should not eat or drink, it says, in many other parts of the Bible, because that will dilute it and stop it from flowing through your body. Okay? So, nobody actually dies. There's no physical death. This is die, D-I-ing, D-I, meaning you D-I, meaning you could say it's taking your eye out, because you do actually lose some from one of your eyes to give to the third eye, but it's D-I-ing, D-I, D-I-ing. I mean, it's opening. It's opening your third eye. And that's when the serpent comes in later and says to Eve, no, you won't die, D-I. Your eyes will be opened. Opening your third eye. This is all about that magical spot between the two rotations, the central spot, the Trinity, the center line. What is death? Well, we could say the or di, de-earthed. De-earthed. You're just leaving the physical realm. You're coming straight back, because everybody reincarnates. Even if you're immortal. I mean, in Indian Sanskrit, they tell us we're all immortal. Well, you are in a sense, because we're all reincarnating, but there's the ones who do wake up, who open their third eye. They can leave this reoccurring recycling system. You have choices. You become God-like. You're a God. You become a God. You can come and go however you please. Okay? So you've just de-earthed. And what's birth? Back to earth. So you've come back. You can be earthed. Be earthed. Back to earth. Born back into earth. Birth, earth. Earthed. Death, die. De-eyed. De-eyed. De-eye. De-eyed. So, if you understand a little bit more about the Sanskrit Indian, there's I'll put a link up of this guy's video. He describes this quite well about the recycling and all that, but like I say, they think we're everybody's immortal, which they sort of are, immortal. But in the scripture they talk about the mortal man and the immortality, because you gain immortality when you live on. You live forever and ever. You live on, and that's when you've raised your soul. See, this third eye awakening is raising your soul. You've raised your kundalini. You've raised your soul. You've found your way back home. You've left the recycling system. So he is basically the immortal one. Okay? So those who haven't woken up and stay ignorant, well, I shouldn't say that, but you could recycle thousands and thousands, even maybe millions of times. Go through the whole animal kingdom is what this character's saying, in regards to the Indian literature. So I'll put that link in there anyway. So, it's a good one. World first. No one's going to be telling you this sort of stuff. I could expand on something. What did I want to talk about? Right. A couple of passages here in Revelations 14, right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Now, patience of the saints. The saints are the ones who are basically the kings. They're the ones that get the anointed ones. They're preordained, I think, right from conception. See, in a lot of stories you'll hear people talk about right from birth. Some well-known characters, they'll all be talking about birth. It's nothing to do with birth. It's right back at conception. That's when the magic happens. Boom. When you come into the light of the world, that's your sun sign. That's not your moon sign. Your moon sign is back at conception. So when we talk about the sword, you've got to realise the brain, the two hemispheres of the brain, and the split rock, split between the hemispheres. You've got to correlate that with a split rock, split brain, sword. Some mythological stories you hear about the sword cutting his skull or splitting his head open or whatever. It's spiritual stuff, not violent. And I behold another beast coming up out of the earth. Now the beast in this case is the what do they keep changing them all the time for? I don't know. The beast is the dragon, right? Which is the Milky Way. It's coming up off the ocean. One of the gates because you've got two fields. Remember, you've got the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere, and each one has their own. So you've got this one swinging around, the Milky Way coming up, swinging around. You've got the other one coming around, swinging around. If you can imagine that tropical gap I was talking about, or that celestial gap. And this is when they come around and make the alignment. Okay? So as they're coming around, they look like horns. Horns of a goat, ram's head, goat horns. And as I behold another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. See, the dragon is the Milky Way, breathes fire, fiery Milky Way. So they're both coming around like this. You're supposed to curl them around like this. They look like the horns of they spiral out like this, don't they? You'll see some in some mythological stories. They'll show you the ram's head. They curl like this and go around like this. Because they curl in the southern hemisphere, there lots of around like this, like ram's horns. That's the two Milky Ways coming around to meet in your man's hour. And it's that alignment that you're going to be looking for. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast. In other words, the southern beast is a reflection, a mirror image of the central beast. Power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Deadly wound was healed. Oops, I've forgotten what I was going to say about that one. So you've got to remember, so it's swung around like this, and this one's swung around like this. You've got goat's horns, haven't you? So imagine those are the Milky Ways coming like that, and there's that gap through there. What have we got here? Whose deadly wound was healed. So then you have to start going back to the sun analemmas. That's the gap there too. Wounds were healed. There's your split, the split between the rock, split between the hemispheres. And what am I saying? Those deadly wounds was healed. So they're healed. That's his feet, they're healed. They're both healed. It's that point there. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man. So this is what the man will go through. He'll know this. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. See, it's deceiving. They don't see it. By the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. I underline the sight, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. I knew what that was, I've forgotten. I've had so much stuff on my mind. Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. The sight. Earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. No, forget that one. Okay, that was just that one. And so, man's hour. That tropical gap is on the whole worldly one. There's a worldly one, the whole one. It's this point here. There's the gap. It's not down here at the equinoxes. The tropical gap I had like this. We have a tropical gap between on the meridians from the centre north over to the south. And then you go like this. You have your tropical gap. But this here, oh, yeah, okay, this is where I still haven't got my head around the fact you've got this and you've got this on a, no, that's the same thing. That point there is this point here, okay? This is the earthly system, the way it works in an earthly system, but we break it down again. And you're in the south here, and you're in the north here, northern hemisphere. And that point still represents that spot there on the earthly system. Nothing to do with this. That's a big correction in all my videos. But I've got all this juicy stuff I've just come about from just one little thing. So I have to do a couple more videos for that, okay? So we'll call this video, well, did God lie? I didn't spend much time on that, did I? So, God does not lie. People just don't understand the Bible. They have no idea. See, this man who breaks down all the Indian traditions, history and stuff. What was I going to say? He speaks of us. We're here on a mission as an experience, a learning experience, to find our way back home, basically, is the goal. And people come down here and spend all their lives with their heads stuck in one door, stuck in one room, like dwelling in the cave and never coming out to see the light. That's a stupid experience, and that's what some people are doing in religion. Their whole life is just going to church, associating with that bunch of people, thinking they know everything because their pastor's telling them stuff. The pastor's not enlightened, he hasn't got his third eye open, he doesn't know anything. It's just a job, a business, and these people are stuck there. I know someone in particular, actually, I'm referring to. They're just wasting their entire life, experiencing nothing but what's in that cave. They haven't come out. All the information's out there. You have to seek.